And you just talk a little more about some of the activities you did.
Yeah, so first it was, I remember when we met at lunch for the assembly before we actually became a club. We met at lunch, and it was a bunch of black students all congregated in the middle of the halls. And it was so funny because all the students around us were like, what's happening, and looking around and super anxious. Even teachers would walk back and forth constantly to see like what's going on. Like, I mean, I've never seen it in LO, a bunch of black students together, until we did it. And I remember talking to them, and I was like, I am so happy when I'm with you guys. I feel relieved. I feel like I can be me. And that's when I realized, like, all of these things I was suppressing when I was going through my 3 years of LO, being surrounded by people who don't understand me and don't try to understand me. And being with a bunch of other students who can empathize with your struggle, literally, it makes you feel stronger, and it makes you feel like you can actually survive the rest of the day. And that's when I was like, we need to do this more often, because all the other students were pretty much saying like they feel the same way. It's so nice to be with people who get you. And so then we met at the cafeteria, and we started just to talk about feelings. It's kind of like a therapy session. And then we started talking about what we need to do. And so one of the events that took place, and Mr. Dickinson did help us with this, and I thank him for it. He supplied the bus. There was a black student union district-wide for Beaverton. All the black student unions met, I think, at, what's the school? Westridge?
Westview, maybe?
Westview. Yes, we all met at Westview, and it was so liberating, and it was so nice to just go into a gym and see black students. So, like, it was maybe like 70 of them, but it was just so empowering. And we did a lot of workshops and talked and danced and laughed and socialized. And at the end of that event, which I wish we could do with the entirety of LO, was they put all of the black students on one side of the wall. And I forgot what psychologist created this list, but it was like 50 things that have happened. If these 50 things have happened to you, it lessens your chances of being successful. And she would go down the list, and if it's happened to you, you'd have to raise your hand. If it happened to you again, you'd have to stand up. And it was just like parents being incarcerated, and not being able to afford college and stuff like that. And yeah, a lot of black students had to stand up, which was sad. Actually, I'm pretty sure at the end of it, all of the black students had to stand up. And then she went to the 50 things that have happened to you that will make you successful. And all the black students stood up for that too, which was beautiful. And it was just like, we're not just like this oppressed species, okay? We're not this oppressed race that can't succeed, and we're just so strong, and we're fighters, because all these terrible things have happened to us. We're making all of these things happen too. And so I wish that these kids could see us, these white kids who don't understand the struggles that half of us have to go through. And if we do succeed, we have to jump through so many obstacles to get there, versus majority of white students get to just kind of walk through. And I know people will be like, that's racist because you're saying it's da-da-da-da, but it's just